I woke up and I saw it on my feeds and I was like, shit, Donald Trump's Twitter account's been hacked and someone's launching a fake meme coin in his name. And then I messaged my brother and some other friends and some people I know in crypto. I'm like, check it out, Trump's been hacked. Someone's trying to scam everybody with a new meme coin. And turns out, not the case, wasn't hacked. President actually launched a meme coin.
6 years ago, President Trump was vowing to crack down on cryptocurrencies. Last weekend, he launched his own meme coin, and in just a few days, it's triggered a $72 billion uproar in the cryptocurrency and political world. Now, I know TrumpCoin might just seem like the latest bizarre excess involving cryptocurrencies, but the amount of wealth it's generated for Trump and his associates may indeed have an impact on how politics and power are used in the future and how cryptocurrency markets can influence that power. That means we cannot ignore its impact and the incentives it has created. I'm joined today by Sam Volkering, Southbank Investment Research's cryptocurrency expert, to explain what's happened and also to figure out what the implications might be for investors, not just in cryptocurrency markets, but also politics more generally. Sam, let's start with a bit of a recap and summary in words that people can actually understand of what's happened over the past few weeks. You've just moved house, we should mention, so your background's in a bit of chaos. We've got your dog joining us. We might have your wife joining us unexpectedly in the background, but we really appreciate your time. Obviously, this is like an urgent issue, if indeed it is meaningful. So thanks for taking the time.
Absolute pleasure. Yeah, it's a bit of chaos in the house at the moment, but nothing that's unmanageable.
So let's start with what's happened. I think the story should begin with 2 months ago, the launch of World Liberty Financial, which sounds very wonderful. It's an organization founded by Trump, his sons, and a particular business associate who's involved in the Middle East somehow, which just adds another dimension here. So take us through what World Liberty Financial has done and why.
So World Liberty Financial is a crypto-based, they're calling it decentralized finance or DeFi platform, if you will, or project that has been launched by a group of investors, including the Trumps, and the Trumps are heavily involved. Donald, the president, Don Jr., Eric, Barron are all officially titled Web3 ambassadors. But the entire family is heavily involved in this DeFi project. And they have holdings of cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, Chainlink, Aave, and now wrapped Bitcoin. And I think what they're looking to build here is a crypto platform where they hold large amounts of cryptocurrencies, they stake them, they use them to generate yield for the token holders of World Liberty Financial. So it's a pretty, to be fair, it's a pretty similar crypto launch organization that we've seen in years gone by. It's just that it's heavily backed now by the Trump family. And at Trump's inauguration, they purchased even more. I think they purchased $47 million worth of Ethereum, $47 million worth of wrapped BTC, $4.7 million, all 47 to signify Donald as the 47th president. So there's a lot going on there. But it's not uncommon. It's not something we've never seen before. It's just that this time it's heavily backed by the President of the United States and his family. That is a first. We've not seen that before.
I think we haven't seen a politician launch their own meme coin, let alone for the politician's wife, though. At least we haven't seen the price action that followed. So let's focus on this meme coin, which has the ticker code, I guess you call it $Trump. That was launched on Friday night during the first ever crypto ball in Washington, D.C. Now, what is a crypto ball and what is this Trump coin?
Yeah, look, depending on your time zone, it was launched over the weekend. It is a meme coin that Trump and his associates decided to launch. Again, we say this is Trump. Trump Trump didn't do this, but he's approved it, right? Like, there's no way Trump has gone and launched his own meme coin. Somebody said to him, probably Barron, "Hey, Dad, it's a good idea." And this is an assumption. We don't know this for sure. But let's launch a meme coin. Now, when I saw this on, like, when was it? Must have been early Saturday morning, and I think the token price by that stage had got to like $15. And I woke up and I saw it on my feeds, and I was like, shit. Donald Trump's Twitter account's been hacked and someone's launching a fake meme coin in his name. And then I like messaged my brother and some other friends and some people I know in crypto. I'm like, check it out, Trump's been hacked. Someone's trying to scam everybody with a new meme coin. And turns out, not the case, wasn't hacked. President actually launched a meme coin. And then I was thinking about it over the weekend. And if you go back in history, Trump has sold everything he could under his name. Board games, underwear, there's a Trump cologne. He sold sneakers, ties. He sold NFTs in the last cycle. So really, when you actually kind of put the pieces together, the idea that he would launch his own official meme coin actually isn't that much of a surprise. And if you look at the terms and conditions on the official Trump meme coin site, it says this is supposed to be in support of Trump and his presidency. It's not political. There's no investment nature behind it. It's just an engagement tool, blah, 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 blah. They knew what they were doing. They knew that the hype that this would generate. But it's a grifter. And let's be honest, Trump's a bit of a grifter, isn't he? And he's launched his own meme coin. So it's a grifter doing the grift. And so we shouldn't be that surprised by it. So there it is. But what the other big surprising thing was that Melania then, we say Melania launched it. She didn't do it. Somebody has said, you should do this. And
hold on, Sam. You're jumping too far ahead in this truly absurd story. Because so far, as you say, kind of vaguely makes sense, although it's a bit bizarre that it's the president of the United States doing it, right? Now, what nobody expected, I would argue, is just how successful the price performance of this Trump coin ended up being. Yeah. So take us through the price performance since it launched on, I think it was $10 on Saturday morning US time.
Yeah,
it got as high as $74.59, I believe, unless something's happened
about
since.
That. Yeah.
Which is an absolutely extraordinary return. On Friday night US time, it had a market cap of $1 billion US. By Sunday morning, the full market cap, including the part that is vested, was $72 billion, which puts our budget black hole into perspective, doesn't it? We're talking about something that's changed in a matter of hours. So people are making an extraordinary amount of money made at one point. People. Take us through all of this price action, how much money has been made by whom, and what's in it for Trump.
Right. So it launched at 18 cents. So that's where we start. We start at 18 cents. And I looked at the tools, the blockchain tools to check that out. So it launched at 18 cents. As I said, when I saw it, I think it was Saturday morning. It was about 12, 13, 14, $15 and climbing. I thought it was a scam. And then you're right, it hit $70, $74, $75 on Sunday. And so the Trump meme coin will have there will only be, well, I say there will only be, but the code can change on these things. But initially, at least, there will be 1 billion meme coins, 1 billion Trump meme coins. And so at $74, that's a $74 billion fully diluted value meme coin, which is the biggest meme coin there is. That's bigger than Dogecoin. The thing with this is that according to the information on their website, the organizations affiliated with this and creators own roughly 80% of the tokens. And these will vest over time. But fundamentally, the Trumps and their associates and creators, whoever they may be, own 80% of what was $74 billion.
Let's explain this term investment, because I didn't fully understand it. The point is, from my research, is that they will not be able to sell the coins that they technically sort of own or will gain ownership of over the time. I think it's the next 3 years, is it? Or 3 months or something?
Yeah,
they won't be able
over
to
years.
sell them, although they technically, in a way, own them. They haven't quite been created yet, but that's sort of baked into this process. So this means that Trump needs the meme coin's value to sustain itself for quite a lot of time yet, in order for him to actually realize any of its value by selling out.
Yeah, and this is the point too, is that I don't want to call these numbers fake numbers, because they're certainly not fake numbers, but for CIC Digital, which is the main affiliated organization here, it's paper gains, because they are vested. So it's a bit like a stock vesting, is that you get issued these tokens, or you have the rights to these tokens, but you can't actually do anything with them for a locked up period of time. And there are different phases of vesting over the years that these have. So again, I think if the president has got a large allocation personally of these, which you would assume that he would, then it's likely they won't vest for him until after his presidency is done. So in his own interests, then he would want the long-term value of this to be sustained. Having said that, it's shed about 60% of its value since that peak of around $74. Again, it's hard to see why. I say it's hard to see why they did this, but then it's clear to see why they did this, because it's got even now it's got like a $35 billion circuit, fully diluted value. So, I think I come at this two ways. They wanted to, again, I don't think it's Trump making these decisions, but I definitely think he's obviously approving them. I think it's Eric, Don, and Barron that are driving this. Sorry, Don Jr. that are driving this thing. And they're younger, they're a bit more savvy, they're switched on to how large the voter base is for the crypto industry, how powerful it's growing in terms of its financial and wealth, sway and influence in different parts of America and the world. And so they are kind of riding this as hard as they can, which I can understand that. The thing, though, is that it's hard to see why they would sort of tarnish the presidency in this way, because they have.
I can tell you why. According to, I think it's Reuters, if we take the peak in the price and its value, and we assume that the chunk of this meme coin does belong to Trump, not just his associates, we sort of bundle it together. My understanding is that 89% of Trump's net worth at one point was derived from this meme coin action over the course of one weekend. So it has generated absurdly enormous gains. The question is what happens next, right? And you're arguing there that the risk is that it's going to go the way of several other meme coins that have been launched over the last few months and years that have ended up getting the personality that attracted all the attention into a lot of trouble, at least, or just completely destroyed their reputation.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to destroy. He's the president. So, he doesn't really answer to anyone until after he's president. And even then, he'll just do what Joe Biden's done. He'll pardon his whole family at the end of it. So, no harm nor foul is going to come for the Trump family. So they've pretty much got carte blanche on what they want to do with this stuff. I also think that it may be, and it is somewhat of a test case, I think, as well, that proves you can utilize these crypto networks and blockchains to create a significant amount of value, more or less out of nothing. And Trump's talked about it, and there's been people in the industry that have talked about, and this is why America's moving towards, and it looks like they're going to put in a strategic Bitcoin reserve where the US government holds a significant portion of Bitcoin, because you can utilize this to, I think they can use Bitcoin, the government, to erode a lot of the debt that the US government has racked up. That's a pretty complex idea, but I think that's the way they're moving. Because let's be honest, and Trump's a businessman. Let's not forget that, right? Like, this guy runs businesses. He's seen them rise and seen them fall. It's fair to say he knows how to run a business as good as, or better, probably better than any president that's come before. And it's pretty clear, right, that the US government, the country, is insolvent. They've got so much debt. I mean, I think, didn't they just hit the debt ceiling again yesterday? And they're on the verge of another government shutdown. You know, this isn't the first time that's happened. I was writing about this the other day in 2013. I think it was in October. It was the start of October 2013, where in Obama's presidency, and the government shut down for 16 days because they hit the debt ceiling and they didn't have enough money to pay the public servants. So the government shut down for 16 days. People forget that. And then they lifted the debt ceiling. But it was at that point, when the government shut down because they were in a massive debt spiral, that Bitcoin surpassed the price of an ounce of gold for the first time. You know, the situation hasn't changed, but I think at least Trump sees that perhaps, and his advisors, Bitcoin is a way out of that hole to a degree. So I know this meme coin thing is it looks like it's this weird, scammy, degenerate kind of thing, which to a point it is. But I think it's also a sort of an initial sign of maybe what's coming over the next 4 years is going to be heavily involved in the crypto industry. But also I think this is actually probably a really strong sign for Bitcoin as well.
And that idea has some precedent in gold markets, revaluing gold in order to generate enormous gains for the government to try and deal with the debt situation. There's a couple of other sort of macro political implications here, but something that first is worth mentioning is just the amount of money that traders and investors in these meme coins can make. So there's an example here that's caught the attention of the media. Someone invested $1.09 million US and walked away with over 30 million in under 2 hours. That's 2,634% gain in under 2 hours. That's a paper gain. We don't know when the sale was actually completed. But the point is, this is outperformed stocks going back to 1986. So it's just the amount of wealth that can be created in these meme coin action markets is pretty wild for investors. The question is, whether it's worth participating, given that ultimately there's nothing inherently valuable about these. It's purely a meme, a craze in a way. Let's finish the story, because there's something unusual and interesting that I think serves as a really valuable warning. Which is what happened when the Melania coin launched. So we've got Trump launching his meme coin. It went absolutely berserk. Tens of thousands of percent gains, I believe. Then suddenly Trump's wife, Melania, launched her meme coin. And what happened next?
I want to start this with the idea, so that people have this in their mind, that one of the things that will drive and crash a lot of these things is liquidity. Okay, so remember, look, when something new like Melania launches after Trump, there isn't just another $73 billion of instant liquidity that comes out of nowhere. So what happens is Melania then, people advising her, or Don Jr. and Eric and Barron, or whoever's making these decisions, launches the Melania token. A day later, that launch, everyone goes, oh my God, Melania will be the next Trump. You get this massive cycle of all the value that was in Trump then shift over to Melania, which removes all the liquidity from the Trump token and basically crashes the price, shifting it into Melania.
55% crash in a few minutes.
So you basically get that. And that's exactly what happened. Is that there wasn't just all of a sudden an injection of billions of dollars of liquidity. Melania just soaked it all up from the Trump meme coin. And again, I saw Melania launch. I literally saw it. I checked my feed, and it was like Melania, and it said 1 minute ago. So I saw it launch, and I was like, "Oh shit, she's been hacked." Trump's launched his. We know it's legitimate, but now someone's gone and hacked her account to try and scam people out of billions. And then I emailed my brother, and I emailed some mates and some people in that I know in the industry, and we all thought that she'd been hacked. Turns out she wasn't. So the absurdity of this is astonishing. But again, then you come back and you go, the Trumps are grifters. So it's not that surprising. And then everyone's like, when's the Barron token coming? Yeah. When's the official Elon token coming? And so now you have this cycling of liquidity, right?
I just want to add a quick figure, though, that's just extraordinary. So Donald Trump owns 800 of these Trump coins. 800 million of the bill. Trump's organization and his associates. So the crash that the launch of the Melania coin caused in the value of the Trump coins held by Trump, this 800 million, is a $25 billion crash. Now, the price has since recovered slightly, at least at the time of recording.
Yeah.
But the point is that we're dealing with tens of billions moves in matters of minutes on the launch of meme coins that are associated with powerful politicians, right? It's a pretty bizarre new set of incentives. And I think that's what we're going to get to next. That the totally bizarre incentive situation here that this has created for politicians, celebrities generally, perhaps, it's going to change the way the world works, because the figures, the gains on offer are so large that there is no way this is not going to have a huge shift in the way that politicians behave, public servants behave, investors behave. The numbers are just too big now, in my view. So how has this changed, in your view, the way that, say, the presidency is going to function now, the way that incentives that politicians are going to change their behavior? How has this whole episode, this bizarre episode, changed things?
I don't think it's changed things, because these things have always been done. These things have always been available. We've seen this in every cycle. The difference this time is that it's Trump. It's Trump, and it's the president of the United States. That's the differentiator here, is that we have never seen this before, because he is a one of a kind, right? Like, he's a one of a kind. Well, he's a two of a kind now president, but he's a one of a kind president, right? He's not like any of the others. He has this aura, whether you like it or not. He has this aura that no one else does. And I don't think probably that anyone else that comes next would have. You know, J.D. Vance doesn't have it. Ted Cruz, I don't know. No one else in global politics has the Trump factor. So when he's gone, I don't think we see this again. Which it does create a lot of opportunities, I think. Because it's hard to predict where this goes. And that's the unpredictable nature of crypto, with the unpredictable nature of Trump and his presidency. The volatility is exacerbated, but volatility is good if you can use it to your advantage, because that's where you do get outsized returns. It's where guys, chuck $1 million in and walk out with 30 million. That doesn't stop you or me. I could have gone and put $1,000 on Trump when I saw it at $15. I thought it was a hack, so I thought I was going to lose all my money, and then I didn't do it. But if I'd have put $1,000 in, I would have walked away with, 5 or 6 grand a couple hours later. I could have done that. That's easy. No vesting for me. Anyone could go and do this thing. And that's the differentiator here as well. Like Trump's inauguration, it was Martin Luther King Day, right? So there's no stock market trading. Bitcoin was trading. Trump was trading. Melania was trading. All of this was happening on a public holiday when the markets weren't open. So in terms of changing things, yeah, it changes things. It means anyone, anywhere, at any time, be it in the UK, be it in the US, wherever, can be trading or buying and selling or investing, however you want to frame it. The fundamental thing, though, here is that there is... I think it boils down to the next 4 years under Trump, or at least definitely the next 2. You get to midterms and then a whole bunch of stuff after. The next couple of years under Trump are going to be wild. and we're gonna see some things we've not seen before and do not expect. But there will be opportunities for people as that are watching right now, you and me, to invest, to make wealth, to profit from a situation that is pretty wild. But it is, I genuinely think this is a once in a lifetime presidency. It's different from his first turnaround. He is wiser about how the system works and how he can use it to his advantage. And again, whether you like it or not, that opens a lot of doors. The people he's putting into place in his cabinet, in his administration, is going to really open. I mean, look at his inauguration. Who was sat front and center of that inauguration? It was Zuckerberg, Bezos, Musk. The CEO of TikTok was sat next to Tulsi Gabbard. It's pretty clear that Trump is going to open the floodgates, and he's promised growth in the stock market and the crypto markets, and sure as heck he's going to deliver on that in the next 2 years. Heaven or hell, he is going to do everything in his power to pump those gains because it's good for him and his family, and it's good for America. And if he does that, then investors are going to find themselves with some pretty wild numbers that are actually attainable, I think. So strap in, because in 3 days, we've seen, I think I've aged 5 years in 3 days with what's been going on in the crypto markets. That's usually a good sign. So strap in. I think there's a lot more fun stuff coming in the next few weeks, the next few months, and absolutely in the next couple of years.
I thought it was because you moved house, Sam.
I mean, that chaos, I didn't expect all of this in a 4-day period. Insane. But I mean, wow, right? Wow. We've got the most pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin president, world leader we've ever had before. Ever. This is probably never going to happen again after Trump. So again, you can like him, you can hate him. I don't care. I don't really like many politicians, if any of them. But Jesus, I'll tell you what, I'm going to do everything I can to squeeze out every single last cent of profit under Trump's administration as I can. So people watching should really be doing the same, in my view.
Yeah, one way to interpret this is that Trump is signaling that he's taking a stake in the success of crypto generally, and so this is a pretty good sign for crypto investors generally. Before you go, Sam, a long-term prediction that you've made has come true recently. Pension funds are piling into cryptocurrencies, so congrats on your call. I remember you making that very long time ago, that this was inevitable and it would eventually happen. What does it mean that pension funds around the world are using various indirect ways of investing in cryptocurrencies, especially Bitcoin right now?
I mean, it's another step towards the idea that, Bitcoin as a starting gate, and then after that, cryptocurrency, it becomes a staple part of every portfolio, every investment portfolio in the world, basically as a default. So, when I was at school, you learn about investment, you learn about, balanced portfolios, bit of cash, bit of, fixed interest, bit of property, stocks, and you balance your risk assets, maybe gold. And now Bitcoin is in that equation. So again, and we've said this over the years, that our long-term view is that, at least 1 to 2% of every portfolio in the entire world of all wealth ends up in Bitcoin. It could be higher, and there are asset managers and fund managers out there, BlackRocks and Fidelities of this world, that are saying maybe it should be 5%, maybe it should be 10%. And then, full degens are just going, well, maybe it should be 80%. And it's like, well, maybe it should be. It depends on the individual. But that's the direction we're heading. So pension funds are just waking up to the fact that, actually, maybe this is something. And it took crossing $100,000 to do that. And more of them will come when it crosses 150 or when it gets to 200 and then beyond. But it's just that wake-up call that it's, maybe this is actually a way to ensure that we are protecting the value of the wealth, the assets under management, of the investors, their clients, and people are demanding it. People are saying, I want exposure to Bitcoin, and if I don't get it, I'll go somewhere else who will provide it. And so that door is swung wide open, and people are actually, pension funds, companies, now governments, are stepping through that door.
Well, investing in cryptocurrencies via your pension fund is not how you're advising your subscribers to take a stake in this crypto boom. What is this crypto landlord's idea that you've been sharing with your subscribers?
Well, look, I've got a few things in the fire around this idea, because for me, it's a no-brainer idea. I mean, it is clear, and Trump has just signaled stronger than ever that his administration is going to be pro-Bitcoin, it's going to be pro-crypto, and there's going to be a big opportunity there. He wants it to be American. I even think he will be looking at reducing taxes on American-made crypto. And if you sort of cycle that back, a lot of the Bitcoin miners are based in America. It's American-made crypto. And he's going to support that industry very hard, Nick. It's the most beautiful industry. He's going to support it very hard. So that's. But these Bitcoin miners, they're not. It's not just about Bitcoin. They're a part of an infrastructure around everything from Bitcoin mining and crypto through to artificial intelligence and the engine that powers that. So there's a few aspects and convergence of mega investment ideas here. That again, this may be very well be the one and only opportunity to really get in on the ground floor of two insanely huge investment trends. Add to that, I think there are cryptocurrencies that will really benefit and profit from this situation. Not just Bitcoin. I mean, I think that's clear. If anyone's watched me for long enough, long-term view on Bitcoin is to have some and never sell it. So be it. So far, that's been a pretty good call. But it's an expanding ecosystem. And as Trump has proven, it's not just about Bitcoin for him. It's about crypto. It's about the industry. Again, whether people like it or not, this is what's happening. And I think there is a subset of crypto that investors can get in on now that I think really in the next couple of years have maximum profit potential. So people might see a few things coming from me in the next couple of weeks around some of these ideas. Pay attention, watch, read, listen, because again, I think if you're shrewd enough, you have the right guidance and you understand how the pieces of this jigsaw fit together, I think there's a lot of money to be made on the table here under this Trump administration, and the impact that that's going to reverberate on around the world.
Yeah, and the magnitude of gains from crypto just blow everything else out the water. So I don't know why you wouldn't at least have a small part of your capital exposed to this boom. Trump's taken a stake in the crypto world, a big one. He's made it a big policy issue for his administration, I suppose, for his priorities. So now is the time. Thanks very much for joining us, Sam, and to everyone at home, thanks for watching.